I'll preface this video as I usually do. I am not a sailing expert, not a catamaran expert, and not a Prindle expert. You can probably find other ways to do the things that I'm going to show you. This is just what's worked for me. In this video, I'll address how to rig the jib, how to rig the downhaul, how the trapeze lines differ from the older boats, and finally how to configure a jam preventer to keep your jib sheets from getting stuck at the base of the mast. Before you raise the mast, take a minute and make sure that your forestay is installed correctly. So you want the ring facing the mast, otherwise it's not going to work. So you've got the forestay and then a shackle and then the long pigtail, which is attached at the mast, and then the short pigtail just hangs free. Take the end of the jib halyard, you're going to come through the ring and then through the thimble on the short pigtail and then back through the ring. And then continue pulling it until both ends are even. When your mast is raised, this is how the configuration will look. When your jib halyard is ready to go, you're going to take the end that has the hook on it and attach it to the head of the jib. Before you start zipping up the jib, make sure that the forestay and the end of the jib halyard opposite the hook are both going through the zipper. Then it's just a matter of pulling the halyard and zipping at the same time until you get it all the way up. So you're going to continue to pull the jib halyard and zip until the hook approaches the ring that's attached to the pigtail. And then it just takes a little finesse. Usually if you try to pull the jib towards the mast a little bit, the halyard, it'll help it seat and hook. Once the jib is up, you need to sort of downhaul it. You should have a small piece of line, probably 3/16, attached at the tack of the jib. And you're going to take that, run it down through the shackle that holds the forestay to the bridle wires, and then back up. And then there's a little plastic cleat on the sail. Put it back through that, pull it tight. Releasing the jib is the opposite of what you did before. You're going to pull up to release it and then pull back a little bit as you go down, and it should clear the ring. Might take a little practice to get good at this. When you're ready to downhaul, you're going to take a piece of line that is attached with a bowline to the tack of the sail, the mainsail. Come down around one of the cheek blocks, back up through the tack of the sail, down around the other cheek block, back through the cringle at the tack of the sail once more, and then down and cleat it off at the cleat that's attached to the mast. Another way to do this, and one that's maybe more efficient, is to take a small double block with a becket and put that on the tack of the sail, and then tie your downhaul line onto the becket. From the becket, you're going to do the same thing you did before. Come down around the cheek block. Then you're going to come up over one of the sheaves on the block, back down around the other cheek block, up again to the double block and back over its open sheave, and then down through the cleat that's on the mast. This gives you much more pulling power. The mechanical advantage makes it way easier to get that sail downhauled. Don't do as I've done here. You can see the downhaul line comes around the gooseneck and then goes back over to where the cleat is. Bring it down on the same side as the cleat, and that will reduce any interference. The trapeze lines are routed a little bit different than the older boats. Your shock cord is going to come up through the grommet in the trampoline that's near the port, around a block that's tied to the trampoline, and then up to the trapeze line where you're going to attach it with a knot of your choice. On my older boat, I rarely had a problem with the jib sheets getting tangled around the base of the mast, but on this newer boat, it seems to happen all the time. And one thing you can do is take a piece of shock cord that's maybe 5 to 7 feet long, and you can use either a clove hitch or a rolling hitch around the rod that goes to the dolphin striker, and then come up over the gooseneck and then back down to that same rod on the other side and tie it off again with a clove hitch or rolling hitch or whatever knot you like. And that triangle that's formed there will keep the jib sheet from getting stuck at the base of the mast, make your life a lot easier.